Warm greetings from the East Africa Philanthropy Network. My name is Purity Momo, and these are the Ubuntu stories of impact. We continue to spotlight our members' work across various sectors, and on this episode, we are joined by Save Generations organizations based in Rwanda, and they're doing quite tremendous work in education, in youth and women's socio-economic development, and in climate change, resilience, and environment conservation. Thank you so much for joining us, and you have a very interesting name. I will let you introduce yourself to our audience and give us a brief overview of SGO.
Thank you so much, Purity, for having me. My name's Hallelujah Mahoro.
Amen.
Basically, Mahoro, for the people who doesn't understand, Kinyarwanda is called peace.
All right.
So I'm Hallelujah Peace. It's quite almost
All right. Okay.
the same. I work for Save Generations organization. It's an organization that promotes children rights, youth and women's rights.
Okay.
It's basically mainly aiming at empowering the community. It's very much community-based and people-centered. So it's about, we do empowerment, ensuring that we have a more of like a prepared future generation, a more resilient generation, but also a generation that really has a good understanding and that are empowered enough. We work with youth, we work with adolescents from the age of 10 to 18, but we also have another group of 19 to 24 young people that we work with in different districts here in Rwanda, or in different regions, if I would say, in Rwanda. And as you said, as you really like reflected a little bit about our programs are around education. We have education programs. We have a sexual and reproductive health and rights program that we usually work in schools. We work with schools and we work with communities. We have that of socio-economic empowerment for women and youth in general, which is mainly more about helping youth be able to create jobs and income, but as well as educated. And mainly we do that through cooperatives of women, of teen mothers, but also with youth in general, and also older women. We don't necessarily just work with youth alone. And we also have another program that works around environment and climate change resilience, which is really also our focus to ensure that we are protecting our environment, but we are also promoting gender equality through that program. And also we are creating still the economic development part of how our youth can actually leverage and use the resources that they have in the community while also protecting the environment, but also they can gain or they can get income from that. So basically, in short, those are our programs. We have also a child protection program. We usually work around protecting children, safeguarding, working with parents to teach them about positive parenting, ensuring that also children are safe. We basically just have different projects around those programs that I just told you about. So that's what we do. Thank you.
So our focus today is to understand and to like deep dive into the work that you're doing specifically in those programs. So let's jump right into education. It's an era where educational equity is a global challenge. Organizations are seeking innovative ways to bridge gaps. Could you elaborate on any cutting-edge learning models that Save Generations organization is pioneering to promote inclusive education?
Thank you so much for that question. Save Generations organization is using different models to educate the community, as I told you, that our programs really reflect on learning and educating and preparing the communities that we work with. Through education, we usually do sponsorship. That's one of the models, I would call it a model, that we use to help young girls be able to go to school. So we have a program where they're paid school fees. We could pay school fees for them. It was in a way of protecting the young girls that were getting pregnant, but also dropping out of school, the ones who are living in poverty, some of the children who doesn't have families, and they're basically on their own. So for us, our focus is mainly on how can we protect that young girl, specifically that targets young girls. That sponsorship program targets young girls, and it was mainly about ensuring that, first of all, they are educated. We can ensure that their future is going to be way more better, and they're going to be able to be more innovative. They're going to be creative with the education that they are being provided for, but also we are going to protect them from maybe getting some funny things that like bread or like biscuits, and then they're getting pregnant because they have something that they are lacking. So the program was really about ensuring that we are safeguarding their rights, but we're also helping them out to actually go to school and ensure that they are completing school. So that has really worked well, and our girls has been performing well in school, and many of them now has graduated university. No, not university, but they have graduated high school, and they're now looking for ways to go to university. So that really helps us to really see that our girls are able to really take that opportunity and use it better. Other education models that we use basically are community models. With our education, we work with schools, yes, but also education is not really just about physics and math. Sometimes also it's about behavior change. Sometimes it's about perspective change. Sometimes it's about enlightening some things that people knew, but maybe they were not comfortable talking about, and we just ensure that we are creating that safe space where we usually do educate communities, ensuring that parents are involved, religious leaders are involved, local leaders, community health workers, service providers. We are basically just making sure that in our education program, basically because our education program also focuses on sexual and reproductive health and rights, and so we are trying our best to not only equip youth with the knowledge about SRHR, but also the environment around them. Because at the end of the day, when we are just teaching youth alone, that's why we keep seeing that the solution, the issues are not completely solved, because we haven't really tackled around their environment, and we haven't really created that supportive environment around them. So we have been engaging parents, we have been engaging everyone that we know plays a key role in a student's life or in an adolescent life, and we bring them on board. We bring them for dialogues, we bring them for training, capacity building. We ensure that the conversation that people were scared of having at homes, now they're having them into the Inteko z'abaturage. Those are platforms in our communities. So it's basically really our education model is community centered. It's community centered, but also it is extended in schools. We are working with head teachers or heads of schools. We are also training them, ensuring that also sexual and reproductive health is incorporated in the lessons that students are learning. One of the good models that we use in education is clubs. And they have really worked well in our programs. Clubs, and they have also created the sustainability of the work that we do around education. We work with about 12 high schools, both primary and secondary. So we work with them in a way that we create safe spaces or clubs. We usually call them We have one called Debate Clubs for Change and Health Clubs for Change. So those clubs are the safe spaces that young people meet in schools, and they are able to discuss about SRHR. They are able to challenge each other. They use a model of debating. So they have a theme and they have to debate about it. And then at the end, they have to come up with a solution. And with that, we also use a model of peer education or peer educators. The peer educators are the youth in the community that are closer to the students, of course, because our staff members are not always on those schools, but the peer educators really helps us with navigating that environment, ensuring that the clubs are really in good health, but they are also functioning. So that is also, we have different models in, also I would say campaigns. We do education campaigns, what we call social behavior change campaigns that we do in communities. We work very, very, very closely with the local leadership and the local government, and they have been really great partners of SGO. We work with them closely in a way of extending our reach or extending the education, not only to the school, maybe to the club of 30 students, but to a whole school of, let's say, 600 students. And so we use also that model to ensure that we are navigating of a way that we can reach more people. We produce different learning materials, specifically about SRHR. We have to package the information, age-appropriate information, and we distribute them in our schools. We produce books for parents, because parents sometimes they need something to read to their children, or they need something to prepare if they are going to have, conversations in their families. And one of the greatest model that we have, or one of our famous model, it's a magazine. We have a magazine that most of the people find very interesting, where our youth shares stories of change. The youth that we have empowered for over a course of period of time, let's say, they're able to share their knowledge gains, but also their practice changes. But also this is a platform that was created for youth to advocate for their needs. If there are needs in the community, or if there are needs regarding SRHR that they have, they can be able to advocate for that in that particular written magazine. There are pictures, there are stories documented, and we publish them on our website, but we also print them out and distribute them in schools. So for that student who was not able to be in the clubs, or who is not a member of the clubs, then the information and the education can reach to that person through the student themselves providing the education. So it's their way of disseminating what they have learned. And I would say maybe I would just say that for now.
And that's quite comprehensive, and I appreciate such an in-depth overview of your work. Hallelujah. Impact measurement is a very crucial element in gauging program success and areas needing improvement. So in your experience with Save Generations, what tools or methodologies have you found effective in evaluating educational programs? And could you maybe share some of the measurable impacts from your programs?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Some of the tools that we use are, I would say, like monitoring and evaluation of our programs. On the baseline before we are starting, but also in the middle, but also if the project is ending, for example, because we are able to see how far are we and what more do we need to do. I would maybe give an example to be more clear about that. We have started with educating with our SRHR program, educating adolescents and also engaging parents. And then we started seeing that, of course, the students were getting it, and the students were open to the conversation. But however, we found out as we are monitoring and as we are evaluating our project, that we need more effort in dealing with the community, in trying to make sure that the environment surrounding that, the students are also comprehensive, they're also educated, they're also empowered, they're also thinking better, they're also thinking positively about SRHR, to ensure that if the child is going to ask a question at home, they will not push them away, but rather they will welcome them and be able also to provide information. So with the tools of evaluating our community, working closely with our community, working with peer educators, working with teachers, we are able to find gaps, and we are able to find where to put more effort in our programs. So I would say our best tool are our people. We get closer to them, we co-create together, they influence the way that we are writing our project, because we want to solve issues that are in the community, not the ones that we are imagining out. So our best impact tool that we look at is our community. So for now, one of the best success stories that we have with the schools that we work with is that there are no more teenage pregnancy in those schools, because we are continually teaching them, we are continually working closer to them. That club is helping very much. When we start programs, we usually do what we call, as I say, baseline surveys. We want to ensure to know, like, what is really the issue in this community? What are we going to address? Sometimes you are just going to address the religious perspective, or sometimes you're just going to address maybe just like people not engaging. So you have to just engage them. So being able to use the community as our tool to measure our impact. And I would say that our communities are really great at showing us exactly what we need to do, at sharing with us the recommendation that they need us maybe to work around. For example, some schools tells us, like, please come and maybe have a capacity building training for our teachers. And then we have to know that next time we are planning to educate teachers, or next time we have to engage a conversation, an intergenerational conversation or a dialogue that involves every single person involved. So adolescents, parents, local leaders. So everyone is really showing us, like, this is what we can do, this is what we can do, and we are able to really find solutions for the issues that we have in our community. So community people that we work with are our best tools. Thank you.
Beautiful story. COVID-19 has been such a crisis affecting all sectors, and education was not immune to the effects. So could you walk us through some of the responsive strategies that Save Generations implemented to counteract these disruptions and to maintain educational access?
Thank you so much. It was very challenging. I'm not going to lie, you know.
Okay.
It was very challenging. I was a student myself, and I know that I did not go to school for about a year, a full year of, and I was in university. Sometimes resources are not available. Sometimes the online courses that we think that people are going to take is not really possible. And we work really in communities that not many people have access to technology. Not many have access to, you know, phones and smartphones, and you are not going to call students for let's say, like a Zoom meeting. So we worked with peer educators, as I said. We have created the peer education system, or the model, that the community members themselves, they are doing the work. And so because of the ownership, and because of that, I would say, because the generation has already been empowered, so they were able to equip the younger generations around in the community. And one of the things we're also trying to do is to, as movement would allow us to move, we would move to the community, practice social distancing, but still, you know, carry out that work. But also our work kind of also shifted to, you know, protection mode, protecting our community, ensuring that we are providing some of the necessary materials like food. Somehow education was no longer the biggest priority, but also ensuring that the community that we work with was protected was also one of the priorities at the time. But education, of course, did not stop, but also it was not functioning as it was functioning before COVID. So COVID really affected that. But however, as we could find ways of moving around, ways of communicating to the peer educators, ways of, trying to maybe people being able to meet in their sectors. So peer educators model, or the people really helped us during that to maintain our education, though we would say that it had really been affected by, of course, the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic.
Education seems to be your stronghold, and I don't want us to spend more time on that because that will affect the other programs that you run, and I'm so eager to get to understand more. So on youth and women's socio-economic development, empowerment stories often provide a real sense of the human impact behind organizational initiatives. So kindly talk to us about a particularly inspiring case from your work that highlights transformative change in the life of a woman or a young person.
Thank you. We have many.
Just one.
But I'll just pick one.
Yeah.
Around youth economic empowerment, we have been educating youth. Of course, our program with education is stronger, but also others are kind of interconnected and interlinked with our education program. So there is no other program that we would do without education.
Right.
If we are doing environment and climate change, we ensure that education is involved.
Yeah.
If we are doing economic empowerment, we make sure that also business courses are given there, cooperative formulation. So education is has to be it has to be interlinked and interconnected with all other programs. So our education program will continue to kind of feed in as I'm talking about those programs. But one of the significant impacts that we have in our community is our community or our youth in Nyagatare district who are producing eco-friendly stoves. And so we have worked with them around economic empowerment and education, and we started recognizing that as we are looking at environment, there are many challenges and there are many issues. So they were able to come up with an initiative of, producing stoves, but also stoves that are eco-friendly, because cutting trees in our country we are trying to minimize to be able to protect our environment. So however, they started this initiative of using, green banana.
Yes, I do.
You know green banana?
I do.
So taking the green banana peels and also other degraded materials in the environment, which is also a way of cleaning the litter in the environment, so they would produce a more sustainable, I would say, I wouldn't call them charcoals, but they are they are called briquettes.
Yeah.
So it's that thing that they were producing, but also producing the stoves. And they have been doing amazing. We were able to build an industry for them, the stove making machine. So it was supporting their idea and supporting their initiative. And I would say that that's one of impactful, or one of the success from our communities. And they continually through our collaboration with the local government, they are able to get, bigger markets. For example, if there is restaurants who wants to maybe make those stoves, they're able to get a bigger market, they're able to get connections. And I would say that through our youth economic empowerment, that's one of our greatest stories. And I believe we have one more coming, because now,
give us a hint about it.
There is. I should give you a hint about it.
Yeah.
We should be truly expecting more. We should truly be expecting more success stories around youth empowerment, because now recently, by today, we had a market inauguration in the Gachorabwenge district sector. in Kamonyi, we had an issue of teen mothers who were selling fruits on the street road.
Yeah.
And usually they don't have where to put their kids. They also don't have a proper market for them to sell their fruits, but also gain more, gain more money and more, I would say more earning. And so the initiative came really to ensure that they're safe. These are vulnerable women who are on streets, who can be violated anytime. So through ways of empowering our women, but also ensuring that we're not just empowering them, but they're also truly empowered and they're able to do something for their lives, and they're able to provide for themselves and their kids, because we truly promote women being able to be independent and also be able to contribute to the growth of their lives. So that market is full now. I would say it's complete, and some of them have capital to start up, and we are still looking for ways that we help the rest of them to also get capital to start selling fruits in a proper market, in a good market, that everyone now can pass by. Cars that are passing by, they can stop, and so every single day they will be having ways of getting to touch money, getting to get money and grow their businesses. And so through that, I believe through the education that we are providing for them of business creation, managing their businesses, doing cooperative management and everything, we're going to be having very beautiful stories coming up from those young mothers
and we
and their
can't wait
children.
to hear.
So I hope that we do another one, and I shall. But
we need to. So we are never able to have any conversation that doesn't stress on partnerships and collaborations, collective action, and so forth, because they often amplify the reach and impact of developmental projects. So could you maybe discuss with us and with me of any strategic collaborations that Save Generations is currently involved in that you aim to bolster your objectives in women, particularly in women and youth empowerment?
Collaborations.
Yeah.
Save Generation is really big at collaboration because we believe there is nothing that we can do alone. We believe that by joining forces, by joining expertise and experience, we are able to do more than enough and more than we could ever anticipate for our community. So one of the strategies is to collaborate mainly, first of all, with the local government. Identifying issues in our community is really important to us, especially understanding the priorities that are there, because sometimes you may want to do a program somewhere and it's not really the priority. But for example, like the example that I gave of teen moms who was really in a vulnerable position of just being, on a roadside selling fruits, we were able to collaborate with the local government to see that they really need a market, and we are able to co-create a solution for that. So our collaboration really strategy lies in creating with them, identifying issues that are there, but also I would say connecting forces and power through different strategies. It can be resource wise, it can be expertise wise, it can also be technical wise. So our collaboration strategies really involves the local communities, other CSOs, being part of networks, the local government, yes, but also the lines of ministries. We are working with them to ensure that, we are also prioritizing some of the things that women need. For example, I would say an example of Mijeprof, which are the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion. We want to ensure that we are connecting the work. We're not scattered. They talked about it today.
Yeah.
We don't want to scatter our efforts. We want to bring it together, and we want to ensure that the work that we are doing for our community is really impacting the community. So our collaboration strategy is to collaborate with the government, the local government, also the lines of ministries, but most importantly, collaborating with the local communities. They are our biggest allies, and they are our biggest partners
Alright.
that we work with.
Alright.
We could not do better in our programs if our community was not engaged. As I said in the introduction, the organization is people-centered, it's
Alright.
community-centered. Our work is about the community. We check if we are improving through our community that we work with. If our community is not really thriving, we ensure that what can we do to ensure that they're thriving. So really the collaboration starts with them, identifying what they need together with them. We don't do it for themselves. We don't do it for them, but rather we have to look at it together with them and to ensure that the solution that we are providing, they will be able to, you know, to benefit them, rather than just like the stories of how we use the programs of fighting malaria. It's a simple example. The program of fighting malaria would provide mosquito nets to the community, and instead of for them to sleep in them, they're going to, you know, to use them for houses of chickens, because you really never involved them. They don't know what these things are coming to do in their houses. And so for us, we want to avoid that. We want to avoid, I would say, wasting resources. We want to ensure that also if you are going to invest resources somewhere, we want to make sure that it's going to really solve a problem. So that's why for us, working with our community and them being our biggest collaborators and partners really helps us to achieve more as we are now achieving. Yeah.
Amazing. Hallelujah. It's quite interesting to listen to you. And moving forward, environmental sustainability is a collective responsibility. Yeah. So what projects or awareness campaigns has Save Generations initiated that are aimed at fostering a culture of environmental stewardship within communities?
Thank you so much. We recognize how important environment is to our health, specifically. If we, of course, talk about One Health approach, if the environment is affected, we get affected, our animals get affected. So ensuring that the environment is really taken care of is among one of our priorities as well. So with, I would say, the campaigns or ways of mobilizing the community. We have mobilized the community of Nyagatare district, where we have seen, different issues that came with climate change and environment, to ensure that the people in the community understand how important it is to take care of their environment, especially that is a very area that has a lot of cattle and animal, I would say cows. They have really good initiatives, not initiatives, it's just it's basically a region where we all know that there are more cows, there are more cattle, there are more animal growing there. But also ensuring that they're taking care of their environment so that their health can be okay, but also they can gain money from it, but also they can protect themselves, all that. So our campaigns was really not a big campaign that involved maybe the whole Nyagatare district or that whole district, but it was mainly mobilizing key people in that community to ensure that, they're understanding exactly what it means to be protecting their environment. And so with producing the stoves that I told you about that are eco-friendly, the ones that we mobilized were able to also mobilize others and ensure that they're, encouraging them to use the eco-friendly stoves instead of maybe, let's say, burning woods. They are burning wood, so instead of you burning wood every single day, can you use maybe a more sustainable, product? And the community started engaging in that. Of course, challenges come from that, but also that's okay. Challenges come because there is already a solution. So possibly challenges are able to be addressed. Challenges are not bad things. However, we see a good, I would say, a good result from the eco-friendly stoves and the briquette that they're using. So, however, ensuring that we are continuing now, we're also continuing to mobilize the community to ensure that, of course, they are all practicing community resilience, and they're also protecting the the climate resilience, and they are protecting the environment better. Thank you.
The longevity of any environmental initiative lies in the local community's active participation. Yeah. Is there any instance where community involvement significantly influenced the sustainability and success of any environmental project that Save Generations was running?
Of course.
Yeah.
I feel like just saying of course and that's it.
And I feel you. I
yeah, but there is no protecting the environment without the community.
Yeah.
Because we live in Kigali, we don't live in Nyagatare.
Where is Nyagatare?
Nyagatare is that district that we implement the environmental project in.
Yeah, okay.
And so for us, we would say yes, 100%. The environment, achieving environment resilient and climate change resilient and everything, and that we're ensuring that the community, the environment is taken care of. Of course, the community has to be engaged because they're the ones in that environment. I feel like it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
no, it's not. It's an of course thing.
Yeah, it's an of course. It's like instantly, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, really for us, we see that community engagement is key, and it has really led to the success of this particular program, and we are also continuing this initiative. And the reason why we are continuing this initiative is not because it's not working, it is working.
Yeah.
With our community. It's 100% working. However, as I said, like, we are dealing with those little challenges that we are finding there, but our community is really able, you know, to come forward and understand what it means for them to be taking care of the environment that they are living in. So for us having an environmental project there and we are not living there and the community is not engaged, it's not going to be successful. But the reason why it's impactful and successful is because the community has the ownership for that and they understand and they are working towards, you know, achieving that climate change resilient and environment.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I was calling you. So climate change resilience, my dear, requires forward-thinking and often innovative approaches. So how is SGO preparing communities, especially those most vulnerable, to withstand and adapt to climate-related adversities?
Thank you. Through education, of course, but also preparing them to come up with solutions. We believe that when we let our community think about the solutions that they need, they know, we undermine them a lot. I think we do. We undermine them a lot, and we want to, you know, create things for them.
Right.
But one of the ways that we are preparing our communities is by, first of all, educating basic education about environment, but also giving them tasks to think about what would you do. You should start thinking about it already. You should start preparing yourself in case maybe we have programs in Rwanda where they're like, okay, we started learning about soil erosion in primary. I remember doing tests about soil erosion in primary, and also learning how to mitigate that. So the education already provided you with, these are some of potential risks that can come up. And then they also prepares you, how would you do it? What could you do? So that's what SGO does. That's what Save Generations does. It's educating, providing the knowledge, ensuring that they're acting out of knowing. Their actions are, I would say, it's enforced by the knowledge that they have. And so coming up with solutions, it's going to be very easy for them. However, that's why, for us, education program is feeding in with all other programs that we have. So they're being prepared through that. They know that they have to be creative enough. They have to come up with solutions. If they're facing challenges, before we give them a solution, we always ask them, like, what do you think would work for you? What works here? You live here. What works here?
Yeah.
And they always give you the proper solution, to be honest. And all we do is guide them, provide technical support, ensuring that, you know, they're guided well and they are coordinated and organized. But however, preparing them for for risk-wise is through education, but also allowing them to think critically and be creative in their thoughts to actually come up with a solution. But of course, if we have also solutions, we have to propose them and provide them.
I am honestly in love with that picture of community engagement that you've tried to paint, and congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
I'm getting into a session that you do not like. I don't know how to maneuver this best, but development work requires a delicate balance between addressing immediate needs and achieving long-term goals. So, how is your team's approach to planning, to strategic planning and program execution?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's kind of all coming back to our community, to be honest with you, but also to the government, to data, what we have around there. There is nothing that we do that is not informed by data. There is no providing a solution to an issue that is not there. It's not practical, to be honest. It's not practical. It's like saying that I'm going to address, I don't know, maybe like chicken pox, and it's not even in the country. Like you write a whole thing about it. Really ensuring that the programs are working and you are achieving the long-term the long-term goals that you have is priority. What are the priorities?
Okay.
And going with trends.
Okay.
So I would say that's how the team is, I would say, is adapting to the trends, not being changed by the trends, but we are adapting to the trends. For example, how we adapted to COVID-19, it did not stop the work of Save Generations organization. That's how we work with also in times like this. Things come up, but in ensuring that we are reaching our long-term goals still, I'll come back to our community. They are informing us, they are informing our programs. We are ensuring that for real, the long-term program that we want to reach is about our community, and we are working with them. And when it comes to immediate ones and some of the things that can either maybe change around that, we adapt to them. We have a very experienced team and strong team that really works very well with the community and that works also well with between themselves. So first of all, I said priority of the issues that are out there in our communities, ensuring that we are working with them closely, they are engaged, also we are inclusive, but also I said about the team. The spirit of the team and the hard work of the team also works well with us.
Amazing story. Two more things and then I'll let you go. Right. So financial constraints can significantly impede non-profit objectives, and more so in uncertain economic times like the ones we're living in right now. So how does SGO sustain its operations amidst these challenges, and are there innovative funding approaches you're considering or that you're already practicing?
I would say that we are considering innovative fundings, things that would bring in some of the income to the organization, because of course, as we were saying earlier, that really functioning completely to donor money is not as sustainable as we want the philanthropic work to be in our countries, or to be here in Rwanda, or also to be in Save Generations organization. So we are really exploring the idea of innovative grants, also trying to find ways that we can be creative and innovative and things that can actually bring income in the organization that allows us to sustain the work that we have, because one of our motto is that whether there is the donor money or not, we are still working with our community. Whether we have those resources or not, we are still following up with the people that we have educated, with the different initiatives that we had in the community, because those are our people's initiatives. Whether we have that or not, we have to keep it going. And so, however, we believe that it's really worth exploring, thinking about how we can, have innovative actions and innovative initiatives that are income generating in our organization. We are completely open to that, and we are looking into it.
Good luck. So,
Thank you.
I'm wowed by your passion,
Thank you.
your knowledge to this agenda. So finally, foresight is key in ensuring the continued relevance and impact of any organization, right? The first bit of the question doesn't touch on you. I am aware we had an agreement before this interview. So what strategic endeavors are on the horizon to adapt to the ever-evolving global landscape for SGU?
Thank you. Adapting to that or evolving into that is still staying connected to the roots. We are connected to our people. That's our biggest strategy. And that
also, like, and of course,
that's an obvious thing. So I'll kind of like put a full stop on that.
Okay.
And so for us, strategically, in how we want to work, to continue working, it's being people-centered. We are people-centered.
Yeah.
And we also collaborating with our governments,
All
making
right.
sure that we are, identifying priorities together, because at the end of the day, we are working for Rwandans, and we are wanting to, prepare and empower our communities. And so that's one of our strategies. Our strategies is to ensure that we are still connected straight to our roots, and our roots are empowered. That's our goal. We want to ensure that our roots and our people and our community is prepared, and they are strong enough, and they are able to contribute to the growth of our country, and they are also able to contribute to the growth of their individual work and their families and themselves as individuals. So for us, the dream is that the future generation is truly equipped. No games.
Wow.
Thank you.
Amazing is an understatement.
Thank
You've
you.
gone above and beyond, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you
I
for having
really
us.
appreciate your time and for choosing to educate me, them that are in philanthropy, and our audience at large. Before I let you go, in 3 words, just 3 words, how would you describe your experience being a member of the East Africa Philanthropy Network? 3 words.
3 words.
Yeah.
Collective actions. Those are 2 already?
That's
Oh.
1.
Good.
That's
Collective actions. Information sharing, which is key.
Very key.
Very key, information sharing.
Right.
Collective action, information sharing. Wow. Those are the 2. I don't know the third one. The third one would be partnerships, maybe.
Yeah.
Partnerships, partnering with others.
But
It's
that's
almost like collective actions.
Collective action, yeah.
Wow, I
Yeah.
should find another one.
You should in the next 1 second.
Hey, which one though? I don't know.
That's fine. I shouldn't be that.
Yeah, I'll say 2 words. Let
Yeah.
me say 2 words. I would describe the network that it's a very great collective actions of different actors. That's really important to our countries. But also number 2, what did I say? Number 2.
Information sharing.
Oh yeah, true. The first one that I would say would be collective actions. Collective actions is important when it comes to achieving the global development goals, because that's mostly what we are trying to achieve.
Sure.
And number 2 is information sharing, which is key. If we don't have data and information in the trends and exactly what is happening, we are not really able to, make the difference that we want to make, and we are not able to create solutions that we need, per se, if I would say. So those are the 2 biggest words in my head right now.
Appreciated. And now the most final thing. I promise I'm not adding any other thing after after this. You have been in this room while I've been having similar conversations with different people. So I want to put you on the spot. All right?
Sure.
Face that camera and end this episode on my behalf.
Oh, I will end it for you. How should I end it?
I know, I mean, in any best way that you can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for watching our episode. We hope that you have learned so many practices and so many different things that you would do with your community. And this is a wrap up, but we hope that we see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And until next time, keep subscribing, keep watching. And if you have a story that you would like us to spotlight, feel free to reach out to us. We are in Kigali, Rwanda, so murakoze.